Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Hollow Street. Tonight, we're diving back into a story that has haunted this channel for years. The mystery of the night bus on Route 113. For those of you just joining us, let's do a quick recap. 2 years ago, a late-night bus on Route 113 vanished without a trace. It was a stormy Tuesday night, the last run of the day, with a driver named Arthur Finch and 12 passengers on board. The bus left its final stop at 11:47 p.m., but never arrived at the depot. No wreckage, no witnesses, no ransom notes. It was as if the bus, and everyone on it, had been erased from existence. The official investigation eventually went cold. Concluding it was a tragic accident, the bus likely swept away in a flash flood and buried under tons of mud in some forgotten ravine. But for the families, and for us here at Hollow Street, that answer was never enough. Too many questions remained. How could a 12-ton vehicle disappear so completely? Why were there no distress calls? And what about the strange reports from that night? Reports of flickering lights, sudden radio silence, and a fog that seemed to swallow sound itself, all concentrated along that specific stretch of road. We covered it all in our first season, and the story became one of our most discussed cases. Then, a year ago, things took a turn for the truly bizarre. The bus reappeared. On the exact anniversary of its disappearance, at the exact same time, Route 113 pulled up to its final stop. The engine was running, the lights were on, but the bus was completely empty. Arthur Finch and his 12 passengers were still missing. The bus itself was pristine, no signs of an accident, no mud, no damage. Inside, everything was as it should be, except for the personal belongings left behind. A half-read book, a forgotten umbrella, a child's drawing. It was as if the passengers had simply evaporated. The police were baffled. They impounded the bus, and the mystery only deepened. Forensics found nothing. The bus's onboard systems showed it had traveled its normal route. Then nothing. The data just stopped. We thought that was the end of the story, a chilling, unsolvable puzzle. But we were wrong, because last week, it happened again. On the second anniversary of its disappearance, Route 113 returned. This time, however, it wasn't empty. This is where the story you're about to hear comes from. Our source is a night watchman named Leo, who was working security at the city depot where the infamous bus is now stored. He's asked to remain anonymous, and we've changed his name to protect his identity and his job. Leo is a no-nonsense kind of guy, a former military man who's seen a lot. He's not prone to flights of fancy. But what he saw last Tuesday has left him shaken to his core. He's agreed to share his story with us because he believes the public needs to know. He believes something has come back with that bus. According to Leo, it was a quiet night, just like any other. He was doing his rounds, checking the perimeter of the sprawling vehicle depot. The infamous bus, the one from Route 113, was kept in a sealed, high-security hangar, almost like a piece of evidence in a major crime. Just after midnight, an alarm on the hangar door was triggered. Leo assumed it was a technical glitch, maybe a faulty sensor due to the cold. He went to check it out, his footsteps echoing in the silence of the depot. As he approached the hangar, he noticed something strange. A low humming sound was coming from inside, and a faint, pulsating blue light was leaking from under the massive steel door. The security panel showed the door was still locked and sealed. There was no logical reason for any lights or sounds to be coming from inside. His training screamed at him to call for backup, but a morbid curiosity, the kind we all have, pushed him forward. He used his master keycard to override the system and peeked through the manual observation slit on the door. What he saw made his blood run cold. Inside the dark hangar, the bus was alive. Its interior lights were on, casting a ghostly glow. The engine was running, that familiar low rumble of a diesel engine, but it sounded different, distorted, almost like it was being played backward. The destination board, which had been blank for 2 years, was now lit up. It didn't display Route 113 or depot. It scrolled through a single repeating word, return. Leo felt a knot of dread tighten in his stomach. He knew he should be on the radio, calling this in, but he was frozen, mesmerized by the impossible scene. He told us it felt like watching a dream, a nightmare he couldn't wake up from. And then he saw it. The movement. Inside the bus, someone was sitting in the very back seat. Leo's heart hammered against his ribs. The hangar was supposed to be empty, sealed. How could someone be inside? He squinted, trying to get a better look through the narrow slit. It was a single figure, sitting perfectly still, silhouetted against the bus's internal lights. It was too far to make out any clear details, but it appeared to be just a passenger waiting for their stop. Leo felt a surge of adrenaline mixed with confusion. Was it a prank? Had some kid broken in? He pulled out his radio to call it in, but as his fingers fumbled with the buttons, the figure moved. It slowly turned its head, as if it knew he was watching. It leaned forward slightly, and its face came into the light. And that's when Leo's world fell apart. The face. It wasn't one face, it was a shifting, blurry collage of faces. For a split second, he saw the weary, wrinkled face of an old man. Then it melted into the smiling face of a young woman, which then morphed into the cherubic face of a small child. He saw a dozen faces in as many seconds, all of them flickering, overlapping, like a faulty television screen. They were the faces from the posters, the faces of the 12 missing passengers, and the face of the driver, Arthur Finch. All of them on one person. Leo stumbled back from the door, gasping for air. He said the sight was fundamentally wrong, a violation of nature. It wasn't just that the faces were changing. It was the expression they all shared, a look of placid, empty stillness. There was no panic, no fear, no life in their eyes. They were just there, a collection of masks worn by something else. He described the passenger as wearing a simple, dark coat and hat, but its form seemed to ripple and waver, as if it wasn't entirely solid. It raised a hand, not to wave, but just held it up, palm facing forward. And on its hand, Leo saw the same effect. The skin shifted, showing the weathered hand of an old man, then the delicate, manicured hand of a woman, then the small, chubby hand of a child. It was all of them, and none of them. At that moment, the humming from the bus intensified, vibrating through the concrete floor. The destination board began to flash faster and faster. Return, return, return. The light inside the bus pulsed in time with the word, bathing the hangar in a sickening blue strobe. Leo finally found his voice and screamed into his radio for backup. He didn't say what he saw, he couldn't. He just yelled that there was an intruder in Hangar 7. As he scrambled away from the door, he risked one last look back. The figure in the bus was now standing. It walked slowly, unnaturally, down the aisle toward the front. Its gait was jerky and wrong, a puppet being moved by an unseen hand. As it moved, its shape continued to shift, sometimes tall and lanky like a teenage boy from the missing posters, sometimes shorter and stouter like one of the middle-aged men. It reached the driver's seat and sat down. It placed its shifting hands on a steering wheel, and then, all at once, the lights in the bus went out. The engine cut off. The humming stopped. The hangar was plunged back into darkness and silence. By the time backup arrived minutes later, everything was back to normal. The door was secure. The bus was cold and quiet. An official investigation found nothing. The security logs showed a momentary sensor fault, but no unauthorized entry. Leo's superiors told him he must have been overtired, that he'd imagined it. They put him on administrative leave and suggested he see a counselor. But Leo knows what he saw. He says that thing, that passenger, wasn't one of the missing people. It was something else, something that had taken their faces, their forms. He believes the bus is no longer just a vehicle. It's a vessel. A Trojan horse that has brought something terrible back into our world. What is this entity? Where did the bus go for those 2 years? And what does it want now that it has returned? Is it a collector, gathering faces and forms? Or is it something worse? A harbinger of what happened to the original 13 people. The bus sits in that hangar, a silent monument to an impossible event. But it's not just a mystery anymore. It's a warning. Something is wearing the faces of the lost, and it has returned. What happens on the next anniversary? Will the bus return to the streets? And if it does, will it be looking for more passengers? Thank you for listening to Hollow Street. Stay safe, and remember to check who's sitting in the back of the bus. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next.